Generations come, generations go. This world will still remain. Live a life of purpose, and you will achieve. An ageless world is a world we live. Make a choice, be the change, join the winners. Join the winners. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ageless world. Oh, we're living in an ageless world. Ooh.
My character was pretty much I was Tyler's girl, and I was part of the T group. I was one of the people doing drugs and stuff like that.
So what message were you passing across in the movie according to your role?
Well, according to my role, I think the whole message is that parents should learn, like, spare the rod and spoil the child. That's pretty much the message. Like, train your children. Don't be afraid that they'll be scared, because it just will end up they'll end up ruining their lives, and you don't want that as a parent.
Right. So do you have a copy of the movie for your friends too?
I'm gonna get one. But yeah, I'm gonna get one for my friends later.
Okay, thank you so much. It's nice to have you here, Miss Dora.
The principles it taught and the values it taught, especially with having children growing up in this world. So I thought it was really good.
Right. So do you think this movie will impact more life in the life of teenagers or in youth, adult life?
I think both. I think for parents, it gives them a guide as to how to raise kids, and for kids, hopefully it teaches them to listen to their parents.
I don't really do anything, and I really like the movie because it's teaching kids what they do now affects who they are in the future.
So do you think Daddy and Mommy should buy this movie for you?
Yes.
And I played the character Tyler in the movie. Basically, I was part of the T gang. Actually, I was the leader of the T gang. And, we did all this bad stuff and running up and down, committing crime and all these things. But, eventually I got locked up and stuff like that. And not to ruin the movie for people who haven't seen it, but that's just the gist of it. But, there's always a good ending to it. It's really, the movie itself is really kid-oriented, and not kid-oriented in the sense that it's a lesson to teach teenagers, about living this type of bad lifestyle, like what comes from it and what you can learn from it. Overall, the movie is just basically a really good movie that'll help teach some young person out there how to, what can happen when you live that sort of bad lifestyle, and the rewards and the benefits from that type of lifestyle, and also to help them realize that they don't want to follow people like the guy I was in the movie. They want to stay away from people like I was. They want to listen to their parents, learn from their parents, because at the end of the day, that's what their parents are there for, is to teach them and to help them.
Wow, that's so motivating. Thank you so much.
Basically, it's all because of the vision. When Auntie Funke came and talked to me about doing the movie, she told me, that this is what, the vision, this is where we're going with this, and, this is the people we're trying to reach. So I figured, that's a good opportunity for me to be a part of something that's trying to touch people who are, younger than me. There's no better way to teach somebody than to show somebody, and that's what acting is, and, that's what these movies is. It's one thing for us to sit there in the classroom and say, okay, Sunday school guys, everybody listen to your parents, everybody does all this other stuff, but it's another thing for you to, see it in a movie, or, then you can easily teach more people the little things that we're trying to teach them.
Well, I think this is a great addition to the movie world, and I was in the premiere. I just came out, and you can see I have my own 2 copies, the Ageless World and the one that was acted before this one. The Christian world, looking at bringing up children in the way of the Lord, distractions that they get that comes along the way. This movie actually really deal a lot looking at some of these things, and I'm buying it because I have young ones at home that I want to learn from it, and I will encourage people out there to do the same.
And I was privileged to record the soundtrack.
Wow, that's so interesting. So what do you think about this movie that you sang in?
It's a message. It's not just a movie. It's a message to this generation, to young people, that the choices they make, it makes a big difference in their lives. You either choose good or bad, and it'll affect you no matter what
I think it's a wonderful movie. It's telling us that we should be very, very careful about the choices we make in this world. And the choices we make can have a lot of impact on our future.
Okay, so do you think this movie will impact more in the life of teenagers or in the life of young adults?
I think everybody can learn from this movie. I think it's very, very important for us to number our days and look at Jesus Christ, or look to Jesus Christ as our source of inspiration, and to give our lives over to him, because at whatever age we do it, it's very, very important for us to focus on this so that the Lord can impact our lives in the future.
It's a very important movie because it passes a message about the world that teenagers live in, and how no matter what, the world never changes. So it's better to start acting in a positive manner, seeking towards the future.
I think the movie is great. We were able to see half of it, and then we got 2 copies. We're going to see the rest of it. But so far, so good. Very, very profound. Very, very informative. Good for families, good for children, good for youths. If you are a parent, you need to get a copy of this. Sit down with your kids and watch it.
Okay, so do you think this movie will make more impact in parents' life or teenagers' life?
Both. It will teach parents how to educate their kids. Share your life experience with your children. And for the youth, it will also teach you see where you're going. That those rebellious lives, those things your parents are telling you, they've already lived through it. So you see why they ended up where they are.
Well, thank you, sir. Let's see. Ageless Word is a timely message. It's a message I wish every parent, every pastor, every teacher, every leader will be able to advocate and make the teenagers of this generation to see. It just simply describes how time does not change. Everyone change, but this word just remains. But see, in the mind of a teenager and in the mind of a youth, they think, they just want to leave their world, and they think it never ends. So it's just a way to say, whatever time you have on earth, make the best of it. Right. And I think that's pretty much the concept of the movie.
Without any doubt, this movie is timely. The world we are living in, it's a very dangerous one, particularly to youths, teenagers and young adults. This for me is a high opener to parents, and I believe that this will radically change our world. I recommend it to every parent and every young youth and adults. I know many young people on their way to jail if they continue the way that they're going. I know men that are already in jail. And I think when they watch a movie like this, there will be a turnaround.
The movie is a very good one because ultimately in life, your decision determines the future you live. The Bible says, choose you this day whom you will serve. And the person you choose today determines ultimately what your life is going to be. Your future is a function of all the decisions you've made today, and that is all what the movie is saying. So I would like to say all to the youths out there to make a very good decision in the Lord. Choose right, make a right determination. Be disciplined, be dedicated, have a positive attitude, and a glorious future will definitely be delivered.
Wow, that was a very, very wonderful movie. I love it so much. It's going to empower our youth. So it's a very nice movie, and I love it so much. And I urge all the youths, to go and watch the movie.
So do you have your own copy of the movie?
Yes, I do.
And I thought the movie is very good. I like the message about obedience to parents. I think that's something that is going away now. I thought it taught it really clearly, and there's nobody better to listen to in the world than your own parents because they have no ulterior motive. So I thought that was a very good message.
This is a movie, Ageless Word. Everybody should definitely go out and see it. Very message driven. Very good storyline. A lot of lessons to be learned from this story. So I encourage everyone to go and see it. I actually teared up in some of the scenes. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was very good.
Minister. Wow, you have such an angelic voice. I heard you singing when I was inside. That was so awesome.
We give God the glory to God.
So what do you think about this movie, Ageless Word?
This movie, it's not only valid today, it's valid today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years to come, 20 years to come. I mean, when I watched it, I just reflected back and, I felt my kids were here to watch this because it's really educational and, it's something every child should watch, every teenager, not only teenagers, something parents should watch. It's a movie that should be on everybody's shelf. It's really not only interesting but very educative.
I played Pastor Tyler in the movie, and his role in the movie, it lets us know that people can have second chances. Tyler had a second chance and he took advantage of it, and he accepted the call of becoming a minister. And to youth, it lets you know that whatever you do in life, that's always a second chance, but you got to take advantage of it.
I played the leading role. The movie was very beautiful. I actually like the message. I'm going to show this around to my friends and more of my family members, hopefully at more churches, because I know all children need to see, even young teenagers need to see more of this movie.
So you acted a bad role in the movie, right?
I was good. I went from good to bad in a heartbeat, but yes, it was a very fun role for me. It was very new, never used to that kind of role, but I'm glad I did it.
Right, that was it.
Well, I played the character Doris, and Doris was the one who had a lot of issues as a teenager, who had to go through so much until she met Jesus and got her life turned around. So that was really the main role that I played in there. And my motivation for doing it was I could relate a lot to her because a lot of people as teenagers get lost, somewhere around the teens, you grow up good in church and then you lose your way. But it is a redemptive story, and because I could relate to it, I really wanted God to be glorified, and that's why I chose to do it.
And my role was Carla, and actually I kind of wasted my life away as a youth and kind of made some bad decisions, and my two babies were little and I was dying and I was so sad to leave them, but I had my friend who couldn't have children to raise my children, and so that's my role.
So much that I don't even know where to start from.
I'm gonna sue you for everything.
Ageless Word, as it is, it's a movie with a difference. From when I was writing the script, I felt the difference. Because writing my script, once I received the message, all my messages are pure inspirations from God. After receiving the message, I just write fast, then I'm done. Sometimes I don't even get to stop. I just write, and because I already received everything I want to write. But with Ageless Word, writing the script, I had to pause and do a lot of research because it's something out of my comfort zone. I want to write about discipline. So, teenagers and young adults. Growing up, discipline meant something else because you can't even look at an elderly person in the face where I come from. Right. But then if I want to write a movie that will be acceptable by everybody, I cannot put the discipline then and said, they would think, this producer is a child abuser. But then at the same time, I don't want to water discipline down. Right. Because what is obtainable these days for me, you're just spoiling these kids. So I don't want to also go to their level. I have to find the balance. I did a lot of research. I spoke with the teenagers. I did a lot of things. And then I could come to a fine point where we can say, okay, yes, if you are not at this level, then you are not and in the skits well. So then with casting of the movie, it was a big one for me because also I told you this movie is out of my comfort zone, but God helped me. I have to say, when I said 6 people are in a gang at school, a gang, I cannot say all of them are African American. I cannot say all of them are white. And I cannot say all of them are Hispanic. I have to bring it together. So it was difficult for me. And you know, some of those teenagers actually grew up. Right. One of them has 3 stages. A very young teenager and then adults. So I have to get someone that will be, if I say that the baby is an African American, then the teenager has to be, then the adult has to be. So I had to look for people that look alike. You can see that lead role has an open tit. So I had to get somebody that looked like Diamond in all the 3 stages. And of course, the Dr. Lizzie Smith, that was the white lady that left, the Caucasian. I had to get a Caucasian to play the teenager, just like that. So it drove me nuts. It was so crazy, but God helped me. So I did it, and location was so fun. We met a lot of challenges. We had a lot of fun. We came together, we worked tirelessly, but then Ageless Word came out.
Wow. Yes. Wow, that's so awesome. I'm so glad this movie was a success. So tell us, where are you from? Because when you are saying you are like, where I'm from, where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Where in Nigeria?
I'm actually a Yoruba lady. I'm from Akure North, Ita-Ogbulu. But then, it doesn't really matter where you're from. God has deposited so much into you to make a difference in your world, in your generation. So even if you are from a village that has just one house, and your house is that house, God can take you to wherever He wants you to be. One thing, you have to trust God. You have to be hardworking. You have to be ready to take up challenges because it's not easy. Things will not come just so easy. You have to be able to say, okay, we want to do it. We have to do it amidst all odds, and we're doing it. And of course, trust God, Amika, because He really helped me.
So did you hear that? It doesn't matter where you are from, just trust God and take challenges. So who do you owe thanks to for making this movie to be a success?
That's a big question. I owe it all to God. God has been awesome. There were so many testimonies. They called the cops on us on one location, and they said we were beating up a police officer. And before we know it, 4 police cars just rushing with their sirens blowing. They want to, yes, on set, we were shooting a movie. And then they came to say, hey, what's going on here? And we were like, we're shooting a movie. The title is Ageless Word. And this is one of the scenes. The purpose of the movie is to tell teenagers and young adults that the choices they make today determines how their future will be. And the officers were like, wow, that's beautiful. We want to be part of it. We're going to stay here with you, make sure everything goes well, make sure you guys are safe, and of course, you can shoot our cars in your movie. So we ended up having a beautiful scenery for that scene, because that scene involves street fighting, gang fighting, and the police had to be involved. They had to take them away. So we have these beautiful police cars and their sirens blowing in that scene, and it makes it so real. I couldn't have done that by myself. But what matters to God is what's in your hand. What do you have that He has to bless? That will not happen if I just sit in the comfort of my home. Exactly. But because He asked me to do something and I obeyed, I listened to Him, I understand Him, I took up the challenges, and then we start. And then He sent help to make that location what it's supposed to be. I know what it's supposed to be, but I don't have the means to do it. But God did it miraculously right there and brought the officers, and it was a beautiful scenery. So I owe it to God. I owe it to my husband. My husband is fantastic. He's the best man that I've ever met. And I pray, I just keep blessing the day I met this man. My husband, oh no, I can just, if I want to start talking about him today, we're not going to be done. He supports this ministry, this vision, with everything in him. He's so supportive. You know, as a woman, if I don't have the support of my husband, I can do anything, because sometimes, especially on location, you stay for a long time, the kids need attention and all of that. My husband is just sold out to this, and I want to give it all to him. Is the help that God has sent to me, and I really appreciate God for his life. I want to appreciate God for all my fathers in the Lord. I mean, if I want to go start mentioning names, I'll just go on and on. I mean, I have a lot of them. They've been wonderful. Those people that let us use their houses, the businesses. We actually use a hospital in the movie, and we did not even rent, we did not even pay a dime. So God has helped us, God has blessed us. I want to appreciate all the cast and crew. I want to appreciate the planning committee that made this premiere a huge success. I want to appreciate my church, Christ the Rock Chapel. I want to appreciate my church again, RCCG the King's Palace. I want to just appreciate everybody, all the pastors that came from different churches, Winners Chapel, I mean, Redeem, all over, because pastors came from all the different churches, and everybody that actually filled this sanctuary today. Because I was thinking we're not going to have enough crowd, but God surprised me. The sanctuary was filled up, and I'm like, God, did you do this? So I just, back to God. I will give all the glory back to God. Yeah.
And the film Ageless World, it's something I just finished watching right now, and I'm going to say it's a film that is made for such a time as this, especially in the land of America, you know, because right now it looks as if discipline is really going, you know, the other way around, unlike what we know where we come from in Nigeria, where discipline is, you know, the top of the day, what everybody does. It doesn't matter if I'm your mom or if I'm your dad. Everyone has the duty of, you know, discipline a child, but not so here. So when I watched this right now, I saw the fact that though there was not, I mean, there wasn't anyone beating anyone, you know, flogging, caning, whatever you call it, but the fact that the parents also were able to use their own life experience, and that is what I think we all need today. We don't need to let our children feel like, oh, we were the Superman or the Superwoman of our world, or we used to be the best, but that's not what they need right now. They need to know what we did and how we overcame all those issues and how we got to where we are today, because if it is not the Lord on our side, we won't be here where we are today. So when I watched that, and I found that as the parents were able to use their own stories to help to tell their story to the children, it helps them to know that they are not the only ones in that situation. Their parents has gone there before, and it is the Lord that has helped them. And that way, I know it's going to help them so they don't also make the same mistakes. So that's what I really think about the movie, and I think it's a fantastic job, and kudos to Sister Beatrice.
I'm just the errand boy. You know, I was at during the shooting, I was at the location. I took time off work, my day job. So I was just the errand boy, you know, kind of running around, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you related to the producer?
Yeah, by the special grace of God, I'm her husband, so. Yeah.
Wow, so you are the husband he's been talking about, the way he described you, all the good things he said about you.
I guess so. Yeah, it is me. Thank you.
Okay, so what do you think about this movie, Ageless World?
You know, we are in the age of where people take the old advice, the old counsel as too archaic to follow. So it is a movie that God has laid down in the mind of the ministry to touch life, especially this generation. A lot of lives are being destroyed, a lot of lives are being ruined, and I consider this as a key message to the people out there, especially our youth who are on the path of perdition. It's a story of the redemption. It's a story of bringing people back from that path that leads to death.
The choice you make sure tomorrow. Choose your friends and choose them wisely. World celebrates you when you are made. Be warned, beware, be wise, be smart, and join the winners. Join the winners, ageless world. Living in an ageless world.